All right, everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for joining this session. I'm excited to talk to you guys a little bit about how we partner at On24 between customer success and customer marketing, and hopefully you'll take away some new ideas to level up your own strategy at your company. I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to dive right in. Hi, Tiffany Beddow, Senior Customer Marketing Manager at On24. I've been with the company for about a year now, and for those of you who don't know what On24 is, we are a webinar platform built for marketers and trainers. And my journey so far in my career, before I started at On24, I was in sales, and I actually sold phone systems to businesses, then got into field events, and then that's when I found my real passion, customer marketing. And what I really love about customer marketing, it's not just working with the customers, but it really is the other departments that I work with. So sales, product, and of course, customer success. And that really, customer success makes my job a lot easier at On24. So before I dive into this, I'm actually interested to know how many people have a designated customer marketer at their company? Okay, so it looks like maybe like 25%, maybe that's too high. Like Peter mentioned, I do think there's going to be a rise in the next few years for dedicated customer marketers. And we can talk a little bit more about this at the end. If you don't have a customer marketer, what can you do? But what it looks like at On24, I am a team of one. I report into marketing, which is a little different than at other companies. Sometimes customer marketing will report into customer success. And I am responsible for a few things. One of them is our customer reference program. So I help our sales team find the correct customer to talk to a prospect. I also manage our referral program, so encouraging and incentivizing our customers to tap into their own networks and refer people who may benefit from On24. I manage all of our email communications, so all the messaging that goes out. Also responsible for creating all of the customer-facing content, so video testimonials, case studies, all that good stuff. And then what I'm really excited to talk with you guys a little bit more today is I manage our customer advocacy program, Voice, and I think that's something that you guys, if you already have something like that at your company, to tap into today if you're not doing that already. But really, at the end of the day, what I want to do is create On24 superfans and impact retention at the same time. So, here on the left, this is our VP of Customer Success, Chris Dishman. He's actually in the audience right now, right over here. And he'll be on the general session stage this afternoon on the panel, so be sure to tune into that. But, so this is customer success and customer marketing me at On24, and we really have one common goal, and it's retention, of course. And like Peter mentioned, you know, we can tend to get super siloed, right, and heads down, but we're all working towards the same goal. So we can make a much bigger impact if we align, collaborate, brainstorm together, and we're going to be able to make a bigger impact and become more efficient. And that's what we've really seen over the past year since I've been at On24. So now let's really dive into the good stuff. 3 reasons why you should partner with customer marketing. The first one is you're going to be able to add more value to your customers by aligning with current customer advocacy programs that are in place. You're going to be able to amplify and scale your current efforts. And lastly, you're going to be able to gain more insights into customer health and the activities that I'm working on with customers, and vice versa. So I mentioned I want to create On24 superfans. Let's talk about how we do that. At On24, it's called Voice. And what this is, it really is the framework for everything that I do. It's how I identify and source customers who are great for advocacy activities. But it really is an engaging experience for the customers, and they get a lot of benefit from it. And what I hear from the customers is they love it for the community aspect, being able to network and learn best practices from their peers. They also get sneak peeks into what we're up to on the product team. And also, it's a gamified experience, so the people who are super competitive, they love to get the points, and they can cash it in for, Amazon gift cards, tech gadgets, conference passes. I forgot to mention this, but before I started, there was a program in place already. It was a little more manual and transactional. It was like, hey, Mr. Customer, help us with this case study. We'll give you this. At that point, it's not really a scalable relationship. So we implemented some software called Influitive about a year ago, and it took about 1 to 3 months to set up, in case you guys are interested in learning more about that. So let's talk results from this past year. So we've had over 260 customers who've joined. And in that time period, we've had 150 engaged advocates, so people who are helping with specific activities. The one that really kind of pops out here is the referrals generated. So from our referral program, we've generated over 1.3 million in pipeline, and just under half of that has closed. Also, reference calls, like I mentioned before. This is really helping to source case studies, videos, joint webinars, getting product feedback to the product team, and also identifying people for beta tests. And speaking engagements, which has been super helpful for me, we actually have our first ever user conference next week, and having to identify 20 to 30 people to speak at that is no easy task, and this really helped us find people who were willing to raise their hands and participate in that. So on to point number 2. How can we scale the efforts that you guys are already working so hard on? So I remember about 9 months ago sitting down with Chris and some of the other CSMs, realizing, okay, how can we get in front of more customers? We have new products we're launching, and we want to increase adoption of certain features. How can we do that? And we kind of realized, okay, some of the traditional methods are great, and we need to do them, but they might not be as effective. So email's awesome, but you really only know, hey, did they open it? Did they click it, right? One-to-one calls, that's where you guys live. There's a lot of that going on. QBRs, once a quarter, but a lot can happen in between that time. And then on-site visits, those are effective, but they're pretty expensive and maybe only make sense for your larger accounts. So how can you scale with webinars? We know a thing or two about webinars at On24, and that's when the Ask the On24 Experts webinar series was born. And what this is, it's a monthly webinar series exclusively for our customers, where we position the CSMs as the subject matter experts. And what we do is we go over the best practices and webinar best practices and also product best practices. And the goals from this, we really want to reach more customers. We want to create a stronger affinity to the On24 brand. We also want to increase upsells and product adoption, as I mentioned before. So, since launching this about 9 months ago or so, what have we seen? In this time period, 627 customers have attended at least one of these webinars. We think that's great. They spent an hour of their time to come learn about what's new and happening with us. And they had high engagement. And so this is an On24 term, a webinar engagement. So this takes into account time watched, resources downloaded, questions asked, what am I missing? Poll results, survey responses. And so compared to the industry average, we're well above that. So we've been pleased to know that, hey, our customers are coming and they're engaging with us. We're able to help answer their questions right there. Also, I want to point out, this isn't up here, but it's fresh in my mind. Last week, we did a webinar on one of our upsells, which is our integration services. And I just want to say, webinars don't have to be a huge thing. We had 30 people show up, but of those 30, 6 raised their hand to say, hey, I'm interested in moving forward with integration services. So to us, hey, do you want 30 individual calls, or maybe or take 1 hour at a time to reach that many? So going from one-to-one to one-to-many, webinars are a great way to do that. And then we've even taken it to the next level. So I've been working with one of our CSMs. I don't know if he's in the room. I don't see him, Max. But we've been targeting our webinars to some of our larger accounts. So this account, IHS, we have 30 plus end users. Max kind of struggled to get in front of all of them. You know, he knew his kind of 1 to 2 point people, but at the end of the day, he didn't really know much about the others. But it's such a large account, it's important to take those steps to get to know everyone better. So we repurposed content from our Ask the On24 Expert series and had this exclusively for them. And the results that we saw, we actually had 21 people show up out of the 30 end users, which I would say is a success. And half of the attendees had a positive engagement outcome. So 4 people were interested in our upsells. 3 wanted to come to our conference that's next week. And there were interests in doing more of these webinars for their network and having them co-present next time. So we would say this was a success, and we're looking forward to doing more of these to our other large accounts. So last point here, and I don't know, how am I doing on time? Am I okay? Am I like going probably way too fast? Okay. So last point here, and why you should partner with customer marketing, is you're going to get shared insights into customer health. So we're new customers to Totango, and we're really, really excited so far. Been working with Chris to make sure that I'm involved in this. So what we've been able to do is put in touch points for myself. So I can go in and say, hey, I'm working on a case study with this customer. Great, now you guys can see that, and now you can shoot a note off to that customer, or maybe, you know, on the next call mention it and say, hey, thank you, I really appreciate that you're doing this. So it really levels up the customer experience for them. And also, vice versa, I'm sure you guys hate this. Nothing's worse when someone calls into your account where things might not be going smoothly and asks for something. This gives me insight into what's going on with that account, so I know, hey, I probably shouldn't reach out to that customer right now. That's a bad idea. So we're really excited about Totango and the visibility that it's going to give us into the customer base. Oh, and this is just a screenshot of how we're going to be using it and kind of connecting the voice program with the different touch points. So customer success and customer marketing at On24. It's a match made in heaven. We're having a lot of fun and making things happen. But what I want to leave you guys with is, you know, do you guys have a point person? Identify who that is. It seems like a lot of you guys don't have customer marketers, but you probably have someone in marketing who wants to help out and has maybe they may or may not have bandwidth, but reach out to try to find out who that person is in marketing who can help. And then start the conversation. We love new ideas, and I don't want to generalize customer marketers, but yeah, we value your expertise and new ideas. So come to us, set up time and talk and brainstorm. We love that. And lastly, kind of going back to those different silos. We want to break that down and come together and collaborate and align so we can make a bigger impact on retention at the end of the day. So with that, thank you.
And if anyone has any questions, just raise your hand and I'll bring the microphone to you.
No questions? That's not a good sign.
So we recently added customer marketing at our company, and we're struggling with where customer marketing responsibilities and ownership ends and product marketing responsibilities and ownership ends. I'm wondering if you ran into anything similar and if you have any advice.
Yeah, so interesting enough, before I started at On24, we didn't have a product marketer. So we recently hired one, and yeah, a lot more stuff was on my plate before then, but now this individual has kind of taken on a lot of our product release, like owning that relationship with the product team. I think you just need to set up time and have that meeting and figure out where there's accountability, right? That it's understood who's responsible for what, or it just kind of floats out there and everyone's like, I thought you were doing it. No, I thought you were doing it. So that would be my piece of advice.
So for these webinars, is marketing then creating that content?
Yes.
And how are you promoting it?
It is through email promotion and also encouraging CSMs to also send that out to their customers.
And is it available to non-customers?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, not at this time. But the content is good, right? I've actually been encouraging my own team, saying, hey, we're doing these awesome things, like tap into this, use this. But right now, there are some things that if you weren't a customer, right, we get in the weeds with the product that it might not make sense for someone externally.
How about like a trial?
We don't have anything formal around that, but I think that's something to think about. I like that idea. Yeah, I would be.
Okay.
Anything to
I'm done now.
Anyone else? Great. Well, feel free to come and talk to me after if you guys want to pick my brain on all things customer marketing. And customer success.